from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the Star League Season 2. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artosis. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastically tasteless because this tournament has already been very exciting. We've had the best players going through so far, which is great because it is best one. A lot of people were worried about that. We're keeping the best going up, and today are some pretty hard to predict groups.
Yeah, a lot of Zergs today. Again, if you're used to watching the GSL Code S, this is a best of one, not a best of three. In this phase of the tournament, very unforgiving. These guys got to pick the right builds and execute them perfectly, or you're out.
Yeah, that is so true, Tasteless. It really changes the way you're going to play. There's a lot of mind games involved. Do I cheese? Is he going to be ready for my cheese? What does the worst player do here?
Yeah, and yesterday we saw some incredible play, actually. So many of the good players we expected to get through did manage to get through. But again, very unforgiving circumstances here. And by the way, tell your friends to tune in here at gomtv.net. A lot of people don't know that we're actually covering this event. Yeah. And also, if you can, please come down to our studio. Entry is free. Thank you to the guys that did show up today. We appreciate you guys coming down. Welcome to the studio.
Indeed. It's a lot of fun if you do get to come down here because, it's not every day. Well, I guess it is this season, but it's not normally every day that we get to actually cast to the open studio.
Yes.
And that we get to sit down and actually watch people. Back at the old studio, we actually stared at a corner with a camera.
With a ladder behind it,
At the new studio, we actually stare at a wall with a camera.
Yeah.
But here, we're staring at people.
So this is a lot of fun. It's a new experience for us. Normally, we only cast like this at foreign events, overseas events. So this is really exciting for us, and we're happy to be down here.
Certainly, we are, Tasteless. And also, we do have an awesome DJ in BK who's filling in all the break time with a lot of great music.
Yeah, so again,
if you like to dance or you like to watch StarCraft, this is the place
to be. Exactly. So, today, again, a lot of Zergs today. Do you have any predictions so far, Artosis?
Well, I've been thinking about it a lot, actually. It's pretty hard to predict, but I think out of this first group, Tasteless, I'm going to go with Maru advancing probably in first place.
I agree totally.
Yeah.
Maru, if you guys are unfamiliar with Maru, super young player. I was actually casting his games in StarCraft 1 when I think he was like 12 or something like that.
Yeah, he was pretty young.
He's grown up a lot since then, but still a very young guy. Now, if you watched yesterday, you're going to know the results, but if you didn't, here they are now. As you can see, Flash and Solkey escaping Group A and Group B, Innovation and Byung. I would say three of those people moving on, not a shocker.
Yeah, and in fact, Byung not a real shocker with the rest of the players in this group.
No, and the way he
been
played,
any one of them.
It was definitely impressive play coming from him. I'm really curious to see how far he's actually going to go in this tournament.
Yeah, I guess that's the question about him, because everyone else, you're like, well, these three could actually be in the top four, and that wouldn't be a surprise to really anybody.
And as you can see at the bottom, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Ragnarok, Savage, and Flying will be going to the Challenger League. So if you like those players, you can definitely follow them there.
Indeed. Well, we'll see if they can get back in Tasteless. Some of them had some great games. I really liked Savage's play and Yu-Gi-Oh!'s play. Ragnarok and Flying left a little bit to be desired.
Yeah. Unfortunately so. Now on to today's match. We're casting two groups today, not one, because this is a different format from the GSL Code S. We're going to have SOS, EffOrt, Sue, and Maru.
And it's a hard group to predict, Tasteless. SOS has had stellar results lately, but we've seen a lot of his Protoss first Zerg play, and he's going up against EffOrt, someone that StarCraft 2 fans may not really know yet. But
you should.
He was like maybe the second best Zerg in StarCraft 1.
He was at least top 3 in StarCraft 1 effort. And that was at the end of StarCraft 1, which says a lot.
His skill level was nothing short of frightening. He was like the second coming of Jaedong. So this is a guy that absolutely has the talent. He has the power to take out someone that just got 2 top 4s, one being a final.
You're absolutely right. It's going to be a really exciting match. And, one of the things that's fun for me personally, I know for you as well, but for some of our viewers who are more new to StarCraft 2, and I know we have a lot of those since Heart of the Swarm was released, not all the StarCraft 1 players switched over to StarCraft 2 immediately. So when StarCraft 1 was eventually retired, a lot of these guys who were the best of the best of the best in StarCraft 1 are now here in Heart of the Swarm. It's a new playing field, which is really exciting. And I'm curious, in this case, how far can EffOrt actually go?
Well, I could see him getting pretty far. I mean, he's been doing pretty well in Pro League overall, and of course, here he is in the top 32, so that certainly counts for a lot. I guess his first real trial, though, is getting through this group tonight, because this group is not a pushover. Sue is a very dangerous, very aggressive Zerg. Maru is just a really talented young player that definitely uses a lot of Hellbats, so that can increase volatility in a best of one. For sure. You mismove those drones one time, and you lose 20.
You know,
like,
the
well,
Hellbat, by the way, has changed everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
I did not, to be frank, when I saw the unit, in the beta of Heart of the Swarm, I did not expect this unit to be as pivotal as it was, but it's incredible. You know, it's got so much HP. When you drop this thing, and it can be healed, it can just take so much damage and wipe out all your workers.
It's a special unit indeed, Tasteless. Well, let's take a look at these two players here. They do have their rankings, of course. A lot of WCS points you can see for SOS. Because, well, you know, he just got into the second place of the season finals and made top 4 of the first season. So he's got quite a few points for himself.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun match to cast. An EffOrt, he was a very aggressive player in StarCraft 1.
Yeah,
his harass was. It reminds me a lot of what we see with Life today.
Yeah, very much so. He was one of those Zergs.
I'm interested in seeing, because I have not been able to see many EffOrt games.
No, I haven't seen
so
any
far,
either, to be honest.
Particularly with the amount of StarCraft that's out there nowadays, it's pretty hard to keep up. But with EffOrt specifically, it's been tough for me to keep up with his game. So I'm curious here today, how is he going to play? Is it going to be the same EffOrt that we're used to from StarCraft 1?
Well, that is the most interesting part, Tasteless, because this is best of 1. We have a historically aggressive Zerg going up against a very aggressive and unique Protoss. Anything could happen in this first game.
Yeah. Here are the player stats. As you guys can see, he's been voted pretty high on everything, I guess, except for popularity. But, when it comes to winning, popularity really doesn't matter. These stats were actually made when we polled all the esports journalists out here in Seoul and asked them to give us, from a scale of 0 to 100, where do they think the players rank? This is what they gave us, and that's what you have now.
You know what? I always have a lot of opinions on the numbers I see, but I think this might be the most accurately in line with what I think.
Actually, well said. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and I can't really argue anything on those numbers. Those look pretty much what SOS is.
Yeah. SOS, a really fun player to cast. He's definitely got his own way of playing the game here, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Here to see how far he can get here. We've seen him get deep before.
In a best-of-1 format, like you would think SOS is going to reign supreme, but when you have an aggressive Zerg like EffOrt, anything could happen. He could do a mass Zergling push, he could do a Baneling bust, he could do Roaches, he could go for a macro game.
Yeah.
He is so solid at macro as well.
Here's our second player, EffOrt, the legend here from StarCraft 1, now here in StarCraft 2. This guy was a beast.
Yeah, and you can see under his popularity ranking that we were not lying. He was maybe the second or third best Zerg in the world.
If you're a Korean out here and followed StarCraft for the past few years, you definitely know this guy is. But, esports, especially in the West, I think is still at a very infant stage. State, I should say.
It's still growing up, and you guys haven't heard of EffOrt yet, but he's here to stay. He's one of these guys that even if he falls out, maybe he won't be back next season, but he will be back. He's just too talented not to get in the top 32.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And again, you can see his cheese ranking higher than some of these other guys. He does do a lot of aggressive openers. In fact, I feel like his aggressive play was almost a little bit more effective than even J-Dong's when I'd watch him.
I see what you're saying.
Mute harass, stuff like that. This guy was crazy.
He was very good at it, Tasteless, and we'll see if he can really carry that over here, because definitely there is a lot of room for harassment with StarCraft 2 Zerg.
Yeah, very true. So with these two guys going in here, who do you expect to win? I'm going with EffOrt right now.
I actually am siding a little bit with EffOrt. I won't be surprised either way that it goes, but I have this feeling about, what build is SOS going to open with? He really likes to go for Sky Toss type play. He does like early aggression a little bit with Zealots and whatnot, and he likes DTs, and that's very apparent. There's been so many Protoss vs. Zerg games of his on TV, so EffOrt should have been able to prepare very well for this.
Yeah, he's got a very interesting way of playing this matchup specifically. A lot of DTUs, as you said, a lot of just Twilight teching in general.
Yeah.
But his Sky Toss is very good too.
Yeah, and the thing is he mixes them together even. So I don't know what type of style he's going to use here. It's very hard to say, but the map is Belshir Vestige, and that's going to be a map that both players are very comfortable on.
Yeah, Belshir Vestige, it's a one-on-one map. I think Zerg is fine early on, but as the game gets later and later on, it's really hard for the Zerg to get that 5th base, or even sometimes the 4th base, because you're expanding towards your opponent, not away from them.
Yeah, it definitely can be. One thing I do have to say is I don't think we're going to be seeing a hatchery first from EffOrt here, considering SOS just likes to cannon rush on this map. So
That's true. We've seen him do that, twice now?
Yeah.
The past 2 months we've casted games. It's at that bottom spawn, very cannon rushable, easy to block with 2 pylons.
Very cannon rushable.
Very cannon rushable. It's a term now. We make the terms, man. We're the casters, you know. Very cannon rushable indeed.
No one else has a voice here, Tasteless.
No. So we're getting very close to starting this game. Here is SOS, a very tough Protoss to beat. We'll see what'll happen, though. This guy definitely has nerves of steel.
Oh, yeah.
We don't see him bungle many games.
No, not many. You know, maybe in the finals against Innovation, he was doing well in all the games and ended up losing them all. So I would argue that on the biggest stage, he still needs a little bit more practice. But in matches like this, no sweat off his back.
No, and I think he's expecting to win this right here. EffOrt, on the other hand, is going to be a little bit... well, he's got a lot to prove still here in StarCraft 2, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I think he's capable of it. We'll see what he's got to offer here.
And, of course,
here he is now.
EffOrt, a former Star League champion in StarCraft 1. As you just saw a picture of him kissing that trophy. Because that's what we do out here in Korea, Tasteless. When we win a trophy, we kiss it.
We kiss it, man. Gotta love that trophy. As you can see, looks like he's ready to go. And I think we're moments away from the countdown actually starting, the map loading. These guys doing this again for reiteration here. It is a best of 1, unlike most of the tournaments that you're probably used to seeing us cast. So if he loses this, he goes down to the losers part of the group, but it's a very unforgiving situation. So whatever build he thinks is absolutely the safest, best build to guarantee a win here on Belshir Vestige is going to be the one he's going to use.
Indeed, Tasteless. I am so excited here to see what's going to happen in this group. Very unpredictable one indeed. In fact, both groups today.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, you ready, Tosis?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I need them to hit go immediately.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Again, this broadcast is piggybacked, so we have to wait for the other production team to get the game going. But when it is time, we will start casting this. And it does look like that time is almost now. How are you doing today, Artosis?
I'm doing very well, Tasteless. I'm actually just waiting for this game to start.
I know.
They keep trying to trick us.
I'm not quite used to this.
We're going to do the camera shots that look at like we're going to start the game. And they're like, no.
It's a pacing thing. Again, guys, they came to the studio. Welcome. I see we have a new visitor here. Again, if you're watching from home, you can come to our studio here. It's in the Gangnam area at Samsung
And you can
Station.
hear us without earbuds. It's pretty sick.
It's so weird, actually, casting here without the earbuds and not being up in that little crow's nest we're normally in.
It is. It's very different indeed, Tasteless.
And thank God the game is starting.
Oh, good.
So we're going to start casting this right away here. Again, the map is Belshir Vestige. It is SOS against EffOrt, and it should be a very close match. And it looks like we're in game now. Great. So to introduce our players here, in the upper left, in the blue, one of the best Protosses around, he is...
Master Wongjin Stars SOS.
And over here in the bottom right, in the red, one of the best StarCraft 1 Zergs of all time. He is...
New challenger CJ Entus EffOrt.
All right.
Alrighty.
Now we sit back and wait to see what they're going to do.
Yep, it'll be a few minutes before they have all their ducks in a row, if you will, and have everything set up so they can start attacking.
In a line.
Yeah.
Or an arrow pointing north, perhaps.
So, let's talk for a little bit, Artosis.
Let's talk.
Whose idea is better, SOS or EffOrt?
You know what? I'm going to go with EffOrt. What do you think?
I was actually going to go with SOS.
It was a hard one. It was a hard one. And my initial thought was EffOrt. Then I'm like, I might like SOS better. But then I thought, you know what? Your initial gut reaction is actually oftentimes more correct than rethinking. I don't want to doubt myself. I'm a confident person.
You read that book blank. All right, I know. No, it's so funny. We see some of these pro gamers actually changing their IDs frequently, which is really too bad because, this is a marketing thing, but once you make your ID, that's your brand, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Beatles can't change their name to the Cockroaches. I mean, it might not. People might think they're two different. It might not translate. People might think they're two different bands. You know.
Yeah. You know, and oftentimes people don't really like Cockroaches anyways, whereas people generally seem to be indifferent against beetles.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, beetles are one of the largest, genus of insects. There are a ton of different types of beetles.
That makes sense.
Like a huge amount of different types.
Oh my God, he's going to cannon rush again.
Now, is he actually going to go through with this? He did make the forge. He
does have the forge.
He might just be thinking.
I'm gonna be blown away if this is going to be the third game I've casted with SOS.
He's actually
doing a cannon rush that works there. So here's it's a positioning thing here, guys. Watch, he'll make the cannon. He'll make a second pylon or maybe some other building to block it. We'll see. Okay, it's actually the second cannon to block that first cannon.
Which is fine
it's hard.
Well.
It's hard to get back to that back cannon. So it will finish. And look at that. Look at that.
Well, this is where you got to see what is EffOrt actually going to do here. He's trying to take down this pylon. He should be able to get in there, but the thing is, the two cannons are going to finish.
The question is, will he cancel?
No, I don't think he will. Now, will the hatch cancel, I guess?
No. That's what I'm talking about. Will the hatch cancel? Yeah.
That's a much harder question. And I think the answer is, yeah, you cancel here.
Wow, that was pretty sick.
We've seen this before. Oh, man.
That's so sick, actually. You got so many drones.
You know, and this wasn't even a hatch first. That's how good this location is for cannon rushes. And he doesn't actually cancel. So he might just be looking for the extra larva there. But all we have to see from SOS is a full wall-in.
This SOS should win from here if he doesn't make any serious mistakes. Mm-hmm. This is it's basic arithmetic. It's almost mathematically impossible for Zerg to catch up from here.
Yeah, he needs to finish his wall-in though. Which
actually, this might be enough lings getting inside of the main.
That's a lot of lings. No doubt about it.
That's a lot of lings.
If 4 lings get in, you're in trouble. But this Tasteless is 6. That's a lot of lings.
That's 2 more than 4.
And that's a lot more than 4.
That is, in this case.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how he micros his probes.
So, a decent amount of damage being done by these lings so far. Not losing any, of course. A player with a micro like EffOrt, not likely to lose any. And
using the queen to tank damage here. So, all right. Now these broodlings are going to be picked off, and it's really up to how much can these Zerglings delay the probes from mining more minerals. That's what we want to watch for here.
Well, I expect him to lose almost no lings. It's going to be very hard to kill any off. Good micro there, but he is delaying them a lot. Every time the probes move, that is missed minerals.
Yeah. Basically, for every second a probe is not mining, you lose 1 mineral. So, oh my God, this is getting really dirty.
I like this a lot.
This is actually slightly more risky than if he just expanded and played standard. He's going to do the second cannon rush. This is
the thing is, SOS is going for a victory, right? If he can cannon rush this hatch too, he wins.
Well said. Now the Zealot can come up here. He does not want to let that get surrounded, but no matter what, as long as he reduces the amount of damage the Zerglings can do to the probes, he should be in good shape.
Yeah.
Now, he has identified, or at least he will, he will now see that this cannon rush is underway, that this is lost time for SOS. SOS would have been better off under these circumstances just teching to get that starport up, or the robo if he wants to, depending on the kind of push he wants to do, and harass from there.
It was certainly, without any doubt, Tasteless, a risky maneuver. But, you can't blame someone in a best of 1 for just going for an instant victory, because as soon as those warp in, it's just like, leave the game.
Check and mate, my friend. When you get that second cannon rush up and pull it off.
And even though he may not lay down his queen, Tasteless, because Zerg doesn't have a king, of course. Wink.
Thanks, Artosis.
Yeah. Still, there's not going to be any recovering. But here,
there's no recoup from there.
It's definitely possible. This game is not over.
Stargate on the way. Now, this is definitely something EffOrt has dealt with, not just in StarCraft 2, but StarCraft 1 as well. Mm-hmm. There's actually a strat I used a lot in StarCraft 1 back before I got
Cannon rush into a Stargate?
Cannon rush into anything. If the cannon rush works, actually in StarCraft 1, you cannon rush into Goon Reaver and just push him from there.
That's right.
But this is a strategy, again, EffOrt's definitely dealt with before.
Yeah.
And if he handles this right, he can still pull off a win because SOS did the second half, the cannon rush on the second expand attempt and failed.
Yeah. Now, guys, don't forget that you can tweet at GOMTV, and we might put your tweets up.
If your tweet's cool enough, we'll put it up.
Yeah. bonus points in my mind if you mention myself and call me Tasteless.
I didn't think that Sentry was going to make it back there.
He was okay.
I was like, we're going to find out if 2 Lings kill a Sentry. I'm about to learn.
Basically just not losing his Lings still. To have them still alive at this point is very nice. You know, there's already Stargate units popping out, and he still has Lings running around.
You know, people don't appreciate this, too. When you're actually managing everything in your base like EffOrt, not missing a beat, and you still have the Lings moving the entire time, efficiently denying your opponent from mining as efficiently as he could.
Exactly. Well, right now, we actually have a Nidus Worm on the way, Tasteless. And another queen as well. So he's going up to 4 queens. I think what we're going to see here is just a Roach queen push at the front. And the later this gets scouted, the harder it's going to be to hold.
Well, it'll depend on whether or not EffOrt opts to scout, SOS opts to scout EffOrt's base first or kill Overlords first.
Well, he's killing Overlords right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. He's going to see it. Will he get the probes down in time? The Zealot, the Sentry now moving down. It's halfway complete. But again, the Nidus Worm is so fragile, and it will be kind of denied.
He gets some units out here, which can be helpful, but trying to throw down another Nidus Worm there. Nice surround on the Queen as well as the Roach.
Kind of an odd place to put that extra Nidus Worm. And then again, the Nidus Worm going down again.
Well, this one is overkill. I feel like he should be at the front of the base at this point. You know, if
no, I know, right? He should.
That's right next to the units and probes. Is
that's
he really
right next
not
to the
see
battle
that?
that's actually happening.
Let's be real for a moment here, EffOrt. That one wasn't getting up. The other one I can forgive.
Well, also the second place one was weird because it was by the minerals, which is where he told the probes to go back and mine it. So kind of a funny situation. All right, again, he can still win this. He has to break into the front.
Right now, this is not a lot of units, and there are a couple photon cannons, so they're going to hold him back a little bit. Without the full wall, though, all the slow Zerglings get in and start to surround. Don't forget, these 3 queens have a lot of transfusions.
All right. The Void Ray is here. Additional cannons coming up, but will they complete in time? Another round of Roaches is being produced. The Phoenix is coming here. They need to pick up these queens, and they do just that.
That's right. Now some transfuses going down. Realistically, you want to pick up the ones with the energy, so he messes that up slightly, but at the same time, Zealot's in the main base.
I guess he warped that in from that proxy pylon from the cannon rush. That's actually really smart.
Yeah. This is a really nice move because so many units are dedicated over on the other side of the map, and in fact, with so many queens, there's not even likely to be a queen there. I think this actually
just saved SOS the game.
Well, you know, he's holding this pretty well, Tasteless, and it looks like the rush is completely over, and I do have to give a big lead to SOS after
I absolutely agree. You know, if we could go back for a second, I don't know if after the first Nidus was denied, if it was smart to make the second Nidus inside the main.
I'm okay with the second, even though you're going to expect it, but the third?
The third,
no, Tasteless.
See, I wouldn't even done it with the second. I would have done it right, because here's the thing is everybody always makes the second Nidus in the main.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, just watch the mini-map. You're going to see the blip.
Yeah, I do agree.
And if you see it, you can kill it.
And, you know, if he had put it maybe in front, he gets an attack there a little bit quicker, maybe does more damage, hard to say.
All right. This is like a StarCraft 1 Nidus up here. This is simply so he can cover his second base efficiently while still keeping his main base safe.
That is right. Well, we do have him taking a third base. Finally, it looks like this might... No, it's not going to get cleaned up because the Void Rays are here, Tasteless. And SOS is going into Sky Toss from here. He's got that +1 air attacks as well as 2 more Stargates on the way. So, you know... If you're even against a Sky Toss, it can be hard to stop. But in this situation, I don't see it. I think SOS is in just a brilliant spot to take this game.
I agree totally. I think we're going to see EffOrt get tapped out here.
Yeah.
He's trying to micro back to these Spore Crawlers. He does not actually lose that one Void Ray. I thought he was. And again, taking out the Nidus here. There it is. GG. SOS overcoming EffOrt.
That's right. It was a crazy and indeed very messy game, Tasteless.
Yeah.
You know, that cannon rush, even though it was pool first, just really utilizing the strength of that position. And EffOrt, you know, his Ling run-by was fantastic.
It was. It absolutely
was. At the end of the day, his Nidus Worm play was not.
Can I be critical for a second
of
everybody who's played against SOS?
Okay.
Why are people not preparing for the cannon rush? He's done this every game I've casted in those spots on this map.
Well, you know,
he always cannon rushes there, and it seems like every time people are surprised. I'm almost more surprised he keeps doing it
I would say that's not going to work again for him because before it was always against hatchery first. Here it was pool first, so effort's like, you're not going to cannon rush me. I'm going pool first.
Yeah.
But in reality, I guess you just have to have an overlord watching for it and maybe a drone on the probe.
It was, I don't know. I'm just so surprised that rush keeps working. Well, actually, I'm not surprised that it works. I'm surprised that he's done it 3 times in a row when we've casted him. And every time people are caught off guard. But, again, if you're a fan of EffOrt, EffOrt's not out of this yet.
Yeah.
Okay, he's in the losers, so he needs to win 2 more best of ones in order to move on out of this group.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, though, because we have a couple other great competitors coming up next. Tasteless, Sue, a very cheesy Zerg.
Yes.
And, of course, Maru. He's the Marine Prince, as many call him.
Super young player. I believe, is Maru our youngest player that we get to cast that is Korean?
He could – no, Life, I think. I think Life is slightly – I might be wrong, but he could be.
Super young guy.
Possible.
This guy's been playing StarCraft 1 since he was like 10 or something, 9 or 10.
Someone actually dug up a Maru picture from his first GSL qualifier.
Oh, really?
He was like yay high, and now he's almost as tall as you and I.
I remember back when you did the interviews,
Yeah.
watching you interview him. This was way back early on in the GSL, but seeing he's such a cute little kid.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
Now he's a big scary nerd.
Now he's a big scary nerd now. Yeah, he's evolved into this incredibly good StarCraft 2 player. Who do you think is going to win in this match?
Maru. I
agree 100%. I think Maru's going to win this.
He's got great control and all. I think he's going to be able to hold whatever cheese Sue actually ends up throwing at him. And I think that's what we're going to see in that winner's match is SOS against Maru, which should be pretty fantastic.
Should be pretty sick. Again, Maru, I would say he's very textbook orthodox Terran.
He has mixed in the past, though, some really interesting, like, quick Hellbat drops. Well, that's not interesting, but into, like, really quick, aggressive mech play.
Yeah.
And I would love to see some of that. And, in fact, some of that might be a smart way to play against Sue, who I think you have to expect is going to go probably for, like, some sort of Roach Baneling bust. That's my best guess.
That's how he rolls, man. Here
Just
is
like a Baneling.
Just like a Baneling, yes. Here are our 2 players again. It's Sue against Maru. A little bit more information here in the statistics. I do think Maru's going to win this. I expect Maru to move on. I don't know if Maru can actually beat SOS, but I think Sue here is the weakest link in this group.
Yeah, I think he definitely is Tasteless, but he can pull upsets. There's no question about it. He had some amazing games last season. Actually, some of our most fun games last season in the GSL Codex.
But, you know, one thing about Sue is he is a cheesier player. In fact, I want to see on the player card what he was voted as for cheese.
Yeah. Watch, he'll be at 50. I'm like, no, you guys are wrong.
You guys are wrong. You should have pulled us. Yeah. So, we'll see. But, again, I do feel like he is one of the cheesiest players we get to cast.
Yeah. He is. I mean, there's not much argument about that. We'll see if the Korean journalists feel the same as we do.
Yeah, I'm always interested by stuff like this because you and I always have our own opinions, but there's plenty more out there. By the way, get out there and tweet. Tell your friends to tune in to gomtv.net.
Yeah.
And catch Tasteless cast in StarCraft 2, romancing over their favorite video game, the best game ever made, StarCraft 2.
That is exactly.
A lot of people don't know that we're covering this, so let people know.
Wow, Cheese 65.
They were wrong.
They are wrong.
They were wrong. I thought it was going to be in the 80s.
Yeah, this is a little bit weird to me.
Come on.
Listen,
But
it
overall,
had to be at least high 70s. This is.
I thought it was going to be higher than that, but we'll see. You know, again, I think for the rest of the stats that we have here, actually, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Even down to the popularity. So.
Yeah, no, I can't argue with much of this. And remember, guys, that popularity is popularity in Korea, where people have known this guy for a long time. I know he's new to StarCraft 2 fans.
Yeah.
But I guess if you played StarCraft 1 for a long time, you do know who Sue is.
Yeah, and I know, after Heart of the Swarm was released, we have a whole swath of new viewers that are tuning in here.
A whole swarm, one might say.
A whole throng, actually, might even be a better word. Throng, great vocab word. Listen to us. You're going to get good grades on your SATs here.
Can you use it in a sentence, Tasteless? Tasteless wears a throng to the beach.
We got the stats here for Mario. I like this, actually, because I think that's very accurate here with the offense.
Yeah,
he's a super
very good
aggressive
offensively.
player. Super aggressive.
That's a good point. His cheese is actually up pretty high, and yeah, he does definitely make
a
some.
throng to the beach.
Yeah.
So funny.
I would be good in one of those spelling bee competitions.
Oh, yeah.
No question.
Did you see that spelling bee contest that was just...
the kid that got really excited?
I was on Reddit like 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
He spelled some word. I think it was like a
Sailboat?
Yiddish world.
I'm like SALEBOOT.
It was some. Turns out the guy that won the spelling bee championship, the last word he did, they had the spelling wrong. And he won it with the wrong spelling.
Whoa.
Yeah,
If I'm the second place kid, man, I'm getting his gold medal stripped.
I know, man. I'm calling a lawsuit right now,
Yeah.
man. We don't make mistakes like that here.
If I'm that other 7-year-old kid that got second, man, I'm going on Larry King Live immediately, man. This cannot stand.
All right, looks like we're almost ready to do this. The map, for fairness, since our first map was Belshire Vestige, the second map here for these guys is going to be Belshire Vestige.
That's right. We got to keep things on the fair, the down and low. What the narrow? What is that thing that you keep things on the something when you want to keep them fair?
Well, I think of the phrase "keep things on the DL," but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
That's oftentimes the way that I commentate. So it fits. That's fine.
It looks like the players are requesting that the game get started. So as soon as they're ready, or whoever's going to start the game is ready, we'll get this going. Again, it's really cool being down here. This is obviously the studio we always cast in, our new studio here, but we never get to cast in front of you guys here in the audience. This is really exciting. Again, thank you guys for coming down. And please spread the word that, people can come down here to the studio.
Spread the word. The tyranny of Mr. Che is over. We get to talk to everybody now.
So, pretty soon here, these guys are going to duke it out. If SOS cheeses, what kind of cheese do you think he's going to do?
Sue. I do this all the time. I always call SOS
Actually,
Sue.
I thought this when we came into the studio today. I'm like, oh, we have Sue and SOS.
Imagine if they play
These
each
guys'
other.
names are just similar enough. That
We're just going to sound like snakes if we have to cast those two playing each other, Tasteless.
It looks like the countdown has started. So get ready for these two guys. The winner of this goes on to face off against SOS. And we're going to see which two players will move on to this out of this group and which two players will be knocked out and moved on to the Challengers League. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artosis. We're Tasteosis, the casting Archon. And this is GomTV.net bringing you Season 2.